Greetings, I'm Dike Rostant. Welcome to In Depth with me. And if you're looking at this, that means you're on our digital platform. So thank you so much for joining us here. Now, Geremias Marcano is a Venezuelan migrant who describes music as his savior. We are going to get into what he means by that, his experience thus far in TNT, and how you can help take his dream, his musical dream, even further. Welcome, Geremias. How are you doing?
Hello, Dike. I'm very good and excited to be here. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Our pleasure. Now, even before we start to talk about your experience thus far, your musical journey in Trinidad and Tobago, give us a little bit of the history, because I think it's formalized music training from the age of 14. And break that down for me, thanks.
That's right. Yes. So I started in the El Sistema, which is a music program in Venezuela, very famous. And children actually start the program when they are 8 years old and plus. So I started a bit late, to be honest, and I started at 15. And my uncle, who was also the conductor of the orchestra, he's an oboist. He plays the oboe. So he encouraged me to also play the oboe, and that's where my music journey started, with him presenting me into the oboe.
And so, but even though you said you started late, you had that love for it, and I think just a little while later you were also teaching.
Of course, definitely, because the El Sistema, the music program, also gives you that opportunity. Once you are able to teach, or once you feel ready and you are comfortable in your instrument, then you are ready to teach others. So that's exactly what happened to me. After a few years, I became a music teacher in the program, and I started to teach kids, like 8 years old children and youth, of course.
So what is it about teaching that really kind of appealed to you in this manner?
Oh, in many different ways, to be honest. One, because I love music, and everybody in the Sistema is also love music. And this is actually like the main reason why we want to do this, because it's unbelievable when you see like 60 or maybe 100 kids playing Beethoven or playing Mozart, and in a full orchestration. And that's one of our main goals in the El Sistema. We want to bring music to every part of the country and present what it's music. So we actually have the biggest conservatory, the music conservatory in Venezuela. And most of us, once we are ready, we are able to audition for this conservatory, and we prepare more. So then you can go to the conservatoire, and then after you finish, you can go back to your hometown and then keep teaching the children of your community.
But going back to your hometown is something that you have not been able to do at this point in time. And so I'll ask it plainly, why are you in Trinidad and Tobago, Geremias?
Yes, and that's a deep question, to be honest. But a few years ago, my country was experiencing, well, still is experiencing the biggest economic crisis that we ever had. And sadly, almost 6 million Venezuelans left the country, and every family in Venezuela was just suffering, including mine. We were struggling to get food, and most of the time we were eating like once a day, and for a week. And of course, I was like having a bad time. My mental health was a total mess, to be honest. And I had to take the decision to leave. And of course, I always had my uncle, Jesus Acosta, support. He has been here for a while in Trinidad, and he kindly offered me his help all this time.
And What kind of impact has Jesus, your uncle, had on you? Because I think I've heard of Jesus before, I've interacted with him once or twice. So what has that dynamic been like in terms of him saying, okay, well, I am helping you this way?
Yes, definitely. His support has been the greatest because one, he has been in Trinidad for a long time and he already made his own musical journey, to be honest. He got to conduct Exodus, the Lydian Singer, and so many other bands, Desperados, and he has been in different big shows here in Trinidad. And it was it blended good because he actually was the one who taught me how to play the oboe since I was a 15 years old boy. And he said, okay, so I could support you. We can still do music and you can actually start your new journey because in Venezuela, sadly, well, most of us we didn't have the opportunity to be happy, and make your dream come through because just being worried and stressed, like what you're going to eat today and what's going to happen today, that was all my mental thinking, So having the opportunity to come and having my uncle support it was great for me. So he actually encouraged me to keep doing music because most of my friends and other musicians that I know, they stopped doing music and started to do different kind of jobs that they were not accustomed to do, like construction and maybe painting houses and cutting grass, And it was good for me because I took the chance. Of course, I did heavy work in the beginning. No beginning is easy, but as I said, my uncle has been the greatest supporter during my journey.
What is it about the oboe? And I ask that because I'm not sure how many people play the oboe where you've been interacting with them in Venezuela, but it seems as though that is not necessarily a common instrument to be played, performed with in Trinidad and Tobago. So what is it about the oboe that you like, and what has your experience using the oboe, meeting people, interacting with people in Trinidad and Tobago been like?
Of course, of course. So the oboe, first of all, is a great instrument. I love the oboe. And I think one of the main, let's say, reason why people maybe don't like it is just how hard it is to make it sound, because it uses a double reed, which you have to keep vibrating in your mouth every time in order to make sound. And that's already make it a bit difficult to to keep the sound going on in the instrument. But at the same time, it's so special because the sound of the oboe is unique. It has that penetrating sound that you could be far or close, but you would recognize it. You would recognize the oboe even if you are far or close. And yes, well, I have met at least one or two oboists here in Trinidad, and I was also part of the National Philharmonic Orchestra of Trinidad and Tobago, and I had the opportunity to play with them and had a great experience. And I had an oboe player next to me, so we were two. And of course, it's a special because you normally see I don't know 40 violins, you see 12 cellos, you see different instrument, but you will only see one or two oboe in the orchestra. So that already makes it special.
And it seems as though you are special as well, Geremias, because the Palm Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago actually helped you a bit in terms of realizing part of your musical dream. What is it, and how does that make you feel?
Well, that they also have been the greatest with me since I meet the Palm Foundation. They have been so engaged, not only with the oboe but music, and they see this opportunity, and of course I see it as well, just to besides the music help and the music fever, let's say that, it's also the encouragement of the new instrument in person who maybe never heard about it and would love to play it. But at the same time, let me say this: I thanks Farm Foundation from the bottom of my heart, because since they met me, so they have been so supportive for me all the time. And actually, they have been helping me to organize all this presentation, and as well as my music development, because I became a student in Trinidad and I just completed my program at UTT, and Palm Foundation was also helping me to complete this part of my life.
And I think you actually paid them back and when I say paid them back, in terms of the fact that one, you finished, two, you did well in terms of having a GPA that is nothing to sneeze at. And the three, I think that has also opened up other opportunities, because I believe you have engaged with Lydian singers, bird song, you're teaching youth. You spoke about the National Philharmonic Orchestra, and all of that has helped you achieve higher heights. So there's an opportunity with Guildhall, and give us a little information about that, thanks.
Of course, definitely. So as you mentioned, I have been, thanks God, I have been involved in music all this journey in Trinidad, and everybody that knows about music and it's involved in this environment are very happy that I'm doing this. And school really opened a lot of doors for me, including very soon. I have been teaching there, and at the same time, I have had so much fun at UTT in my program, which is very dynamic. I have played in different schools. I have done different recitals. It's very, very exciting. And it was one of those recitals where one oboe teacher from Guildhall, a School of Music and Drama in London, she was there and she saw me playing, and of course I met her before. I just invited her to come, and she was happy that I was having this. And at some point, she offered to teach me, to give me some more lessons. And after a few months, she actually organized to do the Guildhall audition. So I actually worked hard for it, and thanks God I passed. So right now, I even got the highest scholarship that they provide to a student, and I'm so excited to really make it happen, because this is life, and I have been always trusting God, and at some point I was very close to stop doing music, and I was even afraid, because I have seen a lot of my friends who are doing different things, but and no music, and that's really sad for me. So at this point, I'm in the middle. Well, I'm trying to apply for my student permit for Guildhall, and that's why I'm doing all this, because I need to go through yes, the student permit, where I need to present that I have the economic support to be there for at least 1 year. So that's where I am at now.
And it's one thing to say, okay, well, yes, you're a talented musician and you're able to make the sound of the orchestra that much better. But it's another thing when you say, these people, the musicians that you interact with, they're happy for you, they're happy for your opportunity, and they want to be part of the reason that you're able to present and say, yes, my economic situation is such that I can go. And with that in mind, on the 25th and 26th, as in this Saturday and Sunday, you have your Musical Journey, a fundraising concert. Who are some of the people who are going to be lending their support to you, Geremias?
Of course, of course. So as you said, this weekend, it's going to be very interesting. We're going to have my Musical Journey fundraising concerto. And I feel so happy and very blessed, because it's incredible. Like, the high quality musicians that are happy to support me and are willing to support me for this. So for this performance, we will have very professional singers, as well as piano player and the El Grupo Venezolano. And we will have different music, of course. And as I mentioned, professional singer like Joan Pyle. We will have Eddie Combabach. So we'll have a variety of music. We are going to mix some vocal and the oboe. We're going to have oboe as a soloist, and we're going to play Venezuelan music for our audience.
And no, this is something, and I'm looking at the lineup, Geremias, and I'm saying, if you want to see Eddie Cumberbatch, that might be a concert in and of itself. If you want to see somebody like Terrence Shaw, guitarist, that might be a concert in and of itself. I'm seeing Darian Diet, and I know she is from Birdsong as well, doing her own musical thing. But there's so many people that are coming together. So there's Edward Cumberbatch, Dirk Gavaya, David Williams tenor, Nikita Gadsby, Myrtle Cumberbatch, and we didn't talk about the maestro himself, Jesus Beltran Acosta Ruiz. He's the conductor. So your uncle is conducting this. Does it feel as though it's come full circle? So in terms of him teaching you the oboe at 14, 15, versus him conducting your concert at this point in time, how does that make you feel?
No, I'm the happiest. I'm the happiest because I'm feeling that positive energy from them, you know, especially from my uncle, because I know he has been like trusting that especially my music experience is good, because as you mentioned, he taught me from the beginning. He was the one who put the oboe in my hands, and now that we both are experiencing this, it's very it's incredible, you know, because I never thought that my musical journey would be something this great, especially when so many big musicians and singers are supporting for this. So yes.
And just before we go, how do people get information about tickets? Because we know when it is, we know it's going to be at UTT, the Napa Theatre 1, but how do people get tickets? And there's also a Fund Me account, I believe you have. So give us information about that just before we leave. Thank you.
Yes, of course, that's right. Right now, I'm doing my online campaign. I have a link going on. Maybe I could share it with you, or maybe we can give people my IG, and I have everything there. And also, for this weekend, there is a flyer going on, but I can be contacted at any point. I don't know if it would be okay to give my phone number.
And we'll share it as well. I think there's also 338-6024 that people can find out about the information.
Correct. Yes, yes, that's right.
All right, but Geremias, all power to you. Best of luck, and we are very proud of you. There are a lot of people who are proud of you as well, and we can see that they're supporting you in this venture that you're doing. And so we want to thank you so much for continuing making your uncle and everyone proud. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.